Hi, I'm Pete, and this is an HK Now store unboxing. And what a interesting looking box we got here. It's a very unusual shape, and not much damage to it at all. A little bit of crease on the corner there, but nothing alarming at all. All right, well, the background puzzles might give you a hint as to what is in here. I've been looking at this puzzle for a long time, so I didn't get it when it first came out. Sort of hesitated and waited for a while. So here we go. Okay, just kind of going in here. Now, okay, I got that. Oops, okay, just gotta be careful here. Don't want anyone to get hurt. Okay, so it's pretty obvious then. It's a regular box, and instead of closing the flaps, they put another piece of cardboard there in to sort of make a bit of an extension. It's very clever. And instead of using a box, it's bigger than they have to. All right. Lots and lots of really good puzzles out there lately, and always nice to get something new. Okay, well, I'm gonna put the knife away just before someone gets hurt here, and if we need it, we bring it back out. All right, here we go. Let's see what we got. Okay, so look at that. Some nice packing material, and so there's two puzzles in here, and I believe that second puzzle is a result of the HK Now store is giving you a bonus if you buy a puzzle. So there we go. Okay, so there we go. There's the two. Box is empty, and we'll just kind of. Okay, well that. There we go. Okay, well there's the thing. There's the thing. Oh, I don't even know if I can get it up. And there's the bonus puzzle. Oh, this is really nice. All right, I'm just going to change the camera so that we can get a little closer view of things, and we'll be right back. All right, well, we're back with a closer view now that the box is out of the way, and we have the two puzzles. This is the one I ordered. I hope so. Anyway, we'll take a look at what's in there, and then they sent me this really nice bonus puzzle. Okay, so I'm going to put the background puzzles, well, in the background, and maybe it'll become clear why we got them back there. So this is a box, and it says MF8 11 centimeter dodecahedron puzzle, and that's it. So we got the Elite Kilomix, which is, yeah, that's something I don't actually have. Interesting. Starminx, definitely have that. Sunminx, well, there's a Sunminx right there. Terramix, okay, well, I have one, but not the flat one that they're showing there. So, you know what? I don't actually see the puzzle that I ordered on here. So, oh well, maybe it's in there. Hopefully, it's in there. All right, let's see what the box says. Yeah, you know, avoid. Basically, don't put anything in your mouth or choke on it. That's just good advice generally. And then don't dismantle cube by force. Of course, no baby 0 to 3 recyclable, made in China. And that's it. That's the whole thing. So the puzzle I ordered isn't on the box. So hopefully everything's okay. I'm sure it is. But let's take a look at what I actually got then. Ooh. Okay, wow, well. So this looks suspiciously like a Sunminx, but the good news is it's not a Sunminx. All right, let's just take that out now. Okay, so now this box is empty. We don't need that anymore. All right, what do we got here? Oh boy. Haha. Yes, indeed. Okay, some little bit of okay, the stickers need a little bit of a wipe down, but anyway, all right, this is what we got. So what is this? It looks a lot like the Sunminx. It has a basic dodecahedral shape of the Sunminx. It has the pentagonal faces, but yet it has these this stuff going on here. So that makes it look a little bit like the Heaven's Eyes. What this is the MF8 Cullinan Cube, and the Cullinan Cube is named after I guess a famous diamond, and that's so that's it. So basically what we have here is a variant of the Sunminx, the Heaven's Eyes, that family. I don't even know what you would call them, but this is a variant of that family, in that we have basically the top half pretty much configured like a Sunminx, and then the bottom half, but around the middle we have the elements from the Heaven's Eyes. So yeah, it's I'm really intrigued by this puzzle. I'm really interested to see how it's going to be. This puzzle is very, very greasy. It's like really well lubricated, maybe a little much so. I see it just a little bit of I don't know, a little factory grime from the puzzle. It's coming right off, and partially just because of the greasiness of the puzzle. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it, but it's on there. Anyway, it's okay. I'm sure it'll break in nicely. Well, what do we have here? So some of the faces are just pure, just right off the Sunminx, and okay, there's a lot of moving parts here. So I'm gonna wiggle all the adjacent faces to try and get everything lined up, and then I'll try and turn that white face. Okay, now that should be better. Yeah, these puzzles usually need a little breaking in anyway. Okay, that's yeah, it's pretty stiff. Let's try this adjacent faces. There we go. Okay, that's turning well. It's just I picked the one face. It's kind of a little bit. I guess I could always go in and loosen them up. I haven't had to do that for either of these two puzzles. The Heaven's Eyes just turns like a dream. The Sunminx is still a little bit stiff, but just to kind of put it in perspective, right? It's turns quite well, quite nicely. And I expect to get the same performance out of this one once it breaks in. Okay, so there we go. Yeah, and now we got things moving. Yeah, it'll just take a little bit of breaking in. It's not, there's a lot of moving parts here. Okay, so we have the pentagonal faces, and then these really strangely shaped adjacent faces where, let's see, they're kind of, they've got the five-sided, but then they have these special corners, which we talked about before. So it kind of looks a little bit like the Heaven's Eyes, but you'll notice that the Heaven's Eyes, the special corners, are on opposite sides of the face, whereas these ones are adjacent to each other. They're on adjacent corners, and you get a couple of regular corners. So this whole thing intrigues me, and I'm really looking forward to solving this, to seeing how it solves. I think it's going to be a really nice sort of middle ground between the long slog that is the Heaven's Eyes. It's a long solve, and a relatively straightforward solve for the Sunminx. So yeah, that's what I'm kind of expecting. That's why I was so intrigued by this puzzle. Just I saw it there, and it is a relatively expensive puzzle, and so, you know, it was one of those things where it's like, well, should I, shouldn't I, shouldn't I? And of course, finally decided that yes, indeed, I think I would have a lot of fun with this. Okay, so pretty good, and already just starting to turn much better than when it first started, much freer, but it's going to take a little bit of breaking in. This one face is quite stiff. I might actually go in there and loosen that up. And we're back from an unplanned pause in the unboxing. I had to go off and adjust some of the faces because they were just too tight. It was making it very difficult to demonstrate the puzzle, to show how it moved. And really, I think I want to kind of disclose that, the puzzle was just a little too tight to play right out of the box. Now, after adjusting it, I adjusted the white, which is fine. It's still quite tight, and that's deliberate. I don't want to have a loose puzzle. And it will break in, and I really think the design of this puzzle is such that it's too loose and you start getting pops. Definitely want to keep it on the tighter side. So now that I've got that, I think it's going to be just fine. We can go on and we can demonstrate the puzzle. One thing I will say, to break this puzzle in, I'm going to do a faces only scramble and just solve it that way. Now on the Heaven's Eyes, when you do a faces only scramble, you end up with a very large crazy comet to solve, which is fun on its own. With the Sunminx, you do a faces only scramble and you end up with a very large Megaminx, funny looking Megaminx. And on this, I really don't know what it would be, a sort of a crazy comet with a couple of Megaminx faces on it. Anyway, that would be a kind of a nice way to break the puzzle in and kind of get used to how it turns and moves. So what do we have here? Well, we have the regular pentagon top and bottom. Then we have these somewhat asymmetrical faces here. And the thing about them is, if you turn them, they can be, for example, this face and this face, they can turn into each other and not really make any difference. But then this other part kind of does make a difference. Now here's the weird and the freaky thing about this family of puzzles, which I think I'm going to call it the Heaven's Eyes family. I don't know if there's a better name for it. The freaky thing about them is you can still do a face turn even though it's a chunk, right? It is kind of very, very weird. The other thing about it is that you can actually swap these chunks. So this is the sort of the funny looking corner, but you can actually swap that for the regular corner. And you can see now, if I hadn't had to turn that, I could have actually turned this back into just a kind of a regular, I could have turned this into a pentagon face. So that is the really, really just wonderful property of these puzzles. Now, the big thing, I think, for this Heaven's Eyes family, I guess as I call it, is what I call a jumbling. And, you know, the purists out there might actually tell me that it's not really jumbling or something like that. But you know what? In my mind, if I take a corner that should normally be in a corner spot and I swap it into an edge spot, I consider that jumbling. So anyway, that's pretty much the main property of this puzzle. So if I do a 3 cycle using a standard up, up, down, down that you see quite a bit on a Rubik's Cube, you would normally expect to swap, say, these 2 corners, and then on a Rubik's Cube you'd swap the outer corners. When I do it on here, it actually does something a little more interesting. Let's try it. Up, up, down, down. Now I'm going to make this look super awkward just because I'm doing it at arm's length on a pretty new puzzle. But anyway, 2 more tries of that. Up, up, down, down, up, up, down, down. In practice, I'd have that really close to me. Okay, so I did swap those 2 corners, no problem. But notice the side effect is not to swap these outer corners, but to rather swap the centers of the two edges. And just as a property of the puzzle, it also rotated them. But that's really just the way the mechanism works, I guess. Now, if I wanted to fix these, all I would have to do is do this swap on some other part of the puzzle. But the cool thing is that that move that I just showed you is not limited to corners. It works perfectly well with edges, and either one of these or both could be an edge, and I can swap them. And let's try it. So we go up, up, down, down. Okay, that's once, and we do it 2 more times. Up. Okay, brand new puzzle. Up. Down. Down. And one more. Up. Up. Down. Down. You can sort of see, even as I was doing it, how the puzzle smoothed out a little bit. It gets much, much smoother. You can do this very, very quickly once it's broken in. Okay, so what did that do? Well, it fixed our two edges over here, and it swapped this edge from the middle of this piece. So if I put it back, you can see that that's actually a corner replaced with an edge slot. I think that is just the coolest thing. And that's pretty much the only algorithm that I've ever really used on this puzzle. You know, 3 cycles, swap and replace, and this one. All right, well, let's see if we can get all this back. Now, I'm going to swap the, let's see, I can swap the corner back in, and I'll put this back in a corner slot. Let's just have fun with this. Whoop. Okay, I just got to make sure everything's lined up. It's really, really important for this puzzle. You don't want to force anything. So, up, up, down, down, up, up, down, down, up, up, down, down. So there we go. I actually put that piece in correctly, swap those two, and put an edge where a corner should be. That's kind of crazy. All right, well, let's just go fix all this up. Now, one of the things about the algorithm I'm doing is I'm starting from the bottom. You know, on the Rubik's Cube, you can start from the top, but I advise against it because usually when you're working on one of these edges, the top will be these pieces, and since you're usually turning the top to work on something, and so you don't want those side effects. At least that's the way I play it. So I always start from the bottom. Now, one of the dangers here, of course, is because of the weird looking geometry, is losing your place, losing track of where you are, how far you've turned it. So that is a concern. It's just something you sort of get used to, right? All right, well, I gotta swap this. This is just having some fun here. Up, up. Okay, so I swap that in. Oh, this is just loads and loads of fun. I got one more to do, and it's gonna actually solve everything here. Up, up, down, down, and then 2 more of those. Up, up, down, down, up, up, down, down, and you see just how much smoother it's gotten even just with those few maneuvers that I did. One of the other cool features about the Heaven's Eyes family are these composite edges, very complex, consisting of a central 2-color edge, the 4 quadrilaterals, and then these tiny triangles. Now the quadrilaterals can actually swap around. They can occupy any position, and they have a handedness or an orientation which is very difficult to see. There's a tiny, tiny little thin edge in here. If you have a Bagua cube, those edges are actually visible as thin edges. They're brought to the surface. MF8 decided to go with the hidden edges in here. And the result is that you really can't see when one of these quadrilaterals, a right-hand one, is occupying a left-hand spot, which they can. That's part of the charm of this. It actually, that edge becomes a bandaging mechanism, and it blocks turns in other directions. They can block turns. They can block adjacent face turns. They can block jumbling turns. They can do all sorts of very, very weird things. And remember, you got 4 of them. So if your edge has got several that are in running in opposite directions, then it can, that one edge can make it very difficult to turn that face that it's on. So part of the fun of solving this is to work through all of that bandaging early in the solve and get everything sorted back out. Now there are special sticker sets you can get that show where the bandaging is, because it can be just a little tedious to work under a strong light to look for the bandaging. I didn't find it too objectionable on the Sunminx. I'm not gonna get the special stickers on the Cullinan Cube for now. I think it'll be fine. I really found the Heaven's Eyes, it made the solve just a little too long, so I did get the special stickers just to reduce that part of the solve. All right. Now one other little quirk about this puzzle, or interesting thing, well, let me show you something on this. Now I'm going to tell you a little bit about this sort of quirk, I guess, special feature. If you want to see it in detail, and I mean a lot of detail, you can look through my playlist, and I'll put a link in the description for this video. It's called Heaven's Eyes Update, and there's a section marked spoiler in there, and it actually basically has all of this information. So this is a face turning puzzle, so I'm just going to turn the adjacent faces here. Okay, and we'll turn that one. Okay, there's a method to my madness here. Okay, and now I turn that one. So now what I've done is I've turned all of the adjacent faces on this puzzle, and what you can see is that there are 5 of these little corners that can't be moved with face turns, and there are 2 of these special quadrilaterals that aren't actually part of an edge that also can't be touched by regular face turns. All of these pieces have to be inserted by jumbling. And, you know, I guess I won't tell you when you have to do it, but all right, very early in the solve, there you go. They have to be inserted. Otherwise, you'll do a lot of damage to already assembled edges if you try to put them later in the solve. Well, there might be a way to do it, but anyway, so that means that you have to put these 2 special quadrilaterals in. They're just regular quadrilaterals. There's a certain number of them, and that's what you got to do. All right. Well, here's the kind of the problem. I'm just going to put this back. So on the Heaven's Eyes, we noted very early on that the issue was that once I scrambled my puzzle, and the Heaven's Eyes has the same thing, it's just that they're on opposite sides of the face. What I noticed was I couldn't solve the puzzle. I had too many left-handed white, no, at the time, which is a special face, but let's say we'll say blue. There were too many left-handed blue pieces, and I was missing a right piece, and there were too many right-handed cream-colored pieces, and I was missing the other one. Anyway, the reason for that was that these two special pieces do have a handedness, and on the Heaven's Eyes, the way it was assembled, it was completely random. You could have two lefts, you could have two rights, you could have one of each. And there was no rhyme or reason to it, which meant that when you placed those two pieces, if you didn't know what the original handedness was, which you probably didn't because you scrambled it before checking because you didn't know, then by the time you got to the end of the solve, when you were trying to assemble these edges, you couldn't actually solve the puzzle because you'd used up one of the pieces that you needed for the other edges. Like I said, the Heaven's Eyes update really goes into this in detail. I ended up having to count all of the white pieces, all the lefts and the rights, to figure out, because you need an even number, right? You need 8 quadrilaterals of each color to assemble the faces, the regular faces, which means that you need 4 lefts and 4 rights. And then what I had to do with the Heaven's Eyes, because it was already scrambled, was figure out how many I had total, and then subtracting the 4 left and 4 right would tell me whether I needed 2 lefts, 2 rights, or one of each for the special quadrilaterals. That was very complicated. It involved making a chart. It involved hours of double and triple checking because I didn't get it right the first time. It was terrible. So when I re-stickered my Heaven's Eyes, what I did was I first solved it so that there was a right and a left for each one of these special quadrilaterals, which is what it should have been in the first place. That way, a right and a left, and then all the other ones have a right and a left. Now, the question is, did MF8, did they learn their lesson from the Heaven's Eyes? Because a lot of us complained about it. It really is not fair to have some hidden property of the puzzle bite you at the very end of the solve, right? When you couldn't possibly, the puzzle was assembled randomly. So the question is, are these, is there some pattern to these? Preferably one of each, but let's find out. Let's find out, okay? So we don't have them on the top or the bottom now, so there's fewer of them, but we still do. So this is the blue face, and that's a left, okay? And I'm looking here, and that's also a left. Okay, so, all right, well, so what I would normally be doing now is making a little chart, okay? Blue, LL for left and left. So I know that when I solve these two pieces, I need 2 left. All right, well, now let's see. And now the cream colored, okay, that's a left. And that's a left. Okay, I can see it from here. It might be very difficult on camera. Okay, so left, 2 lefts, 2 lefts. All right, it's not the way I would do it, but that would actually be good. If maybe they put all left-handed special pieces on here. On the pink, okay, that's left, and that's left, okay? I'm just going to cut to the chase here because I already had a peek at this. The point is that all of these around the white face are, the special pieces are both left-handed. That is fantastic because now I know that all of the faces adjacent to the white, I just have to put 2 lefts in for the special pieces, and then I don't have to think about it. Again, I would have put one of each, but hey, I'm not MF8, so what do I know? Well, what about the rest of the puzzle? Okay, again, I'm just going to cut to the chase. It turns out that the ones adjacent to the yellow face are all right. Okay, again, it's not the way I would do it, but it's fine because now I know I don't have to make a chart, and I just know that all the faces on the white are left, all the faces on the right, on the yellow are right for the special pieces. So that's, in other words, MF8 did learn their lesson. They didn't follow all of my advice, but they did follow my advice to make it a pattern rather than some random thing where you don't know which handedness you need there. Okay. Again, the point is, it's not that they won't fit. You can put anything you want there, but if you put the wrong ones, you use up one that you need for the rest of them, and you don't find out until quite late in the solve. Yes, not a cool look for puzzle solving. This is a fun puzzle. I don't want to give the impression it's not. It really, really is. That's part of the charm of it. But some things I just consider a little bit unsporting. It's kind of like, you know, playing a pinball machine that has an electromagnet that kind of moves the ball on you randomly. It's just unsporting. And, you know, any kind of randomness like this. Okay, was that good? Was that a good rant? Okay, anyway, I think this is a fantastic puzzle. I'm really, really glad they did it that way. If you want to know much more detail, maybe my explanation, if it didn't make any sense, you can go look at that Heaven's Eyes update, and it really explains it. The problem, it shows you the table I had to make up. It goes into much more detail. And of course, this is only an issue on the puzzles that have the special pieces. So Heaven's Eyes, this one, and it's not an issue for the Sunminx because it doesn't have any of those special pieces. No, I didn't forget. This is the bonus puzzle I got. This is the MoYu Weilong and 54.5 millimeters. And yeah, it's of course no babies. And it's endorsed by Felix Zemdegs, so you know it's got to be a good puzzle. All right, let's just see what I got here. I really appreciate HK Now Store giving us this extra little bonus here. Okay, so box, don't need it, and there you go. Wow, there is the puzzle. I just love getting these extra little bonus puzzles. Yeah, this is great. This is just absolutely cool. You know, I work with a lot of young people, and of course I could use an extra puzzle or two always to show them you know what they can do with it, and sort of get them hooked on Rubik's cubes. Why not? All right. Well, yeah, I really appreciate getting this extra little puzzle. And I'm going to have a lot of fun with that too. All right, well, that is a very odd unboxing. A little break in the middle of it. All right, let's see if I can bring out the other parts. I'm going to call this a Heaven's Eyes family. And okay, so far so good. I don't know, they don't really match up color-wise. And then the Sunminx, which is you know, there's always that one. A member of the family, it just doesn't fit. Yeah, I just the colors are just totally different on this one. So whatever. There you go. Still a good family. All right, I really like all these puzzles. And I know there is one more member of the family they don't have. So if you have any ideas about that, let me know in the comments. You want to see me get? There's a fourth member of the family. I won't name it. Go off, see if you can find it. What do you think that will be like? Is it worthwhile or not? Let me know what you think in the comments. If money was no object, would you have all three of these, or would you pick just one? Let me know what you think about that in the comments. I always appreciate your feedback, your questions, any other comments you want to make. So let me know. Yeah, tell me what you think. Now, remember, there is some bonus content, which is just my efforts to loosen the faces on the puzzle. If you want to see how I went about it, just keep watching after the sign off. And otherwise, in the meantime, thanks for watching. All right, well, we're just going to take a little pause here in the middle of the unboxing to try to adjust the Cullinan Cube. I'm finding the white face especially is really tight. Some of the other faces are quite tight too, and it's making it very difficult to demonstrate the puzzle, to show off algorithms or anything like that. Now, the issue is that I've not adjusted these before. My Heaven's Eyes was excellent right out of the box, perfectly adjusted. The Sunminx was a little stiff, but it wasn't objectionable, and it's broken in nicely. This one, it just needs some work. So the thing here is that this will be, if I'm successful, it'll be the bonus content showing how to adjust the faces, and if I'm unsuccessful, I guess, well, it'll be the blooper reel, also bonus content. So building tension, aren't I? All right, my idea is that the MF8 cap is probably similar to their other dodecahedral puzzles, so it probably has a sloping side, and so it sort of gets a little wider at the bottom. And the idea is that I can slip this palette knife, which has a very thin, flexible blade, down here and just kind of pry it up a little bit. Now, I'm using this rather than a hobby knife because I think it's a little safer than a hobby knife, and safer for both me and the puzzle. All right, so I'm just going to try here, try prying this up, and then sometimes I can just pop them right off if it's one of those, and if I can't pop it right off, I will try to get my other, oh, okay, so I'm going to need the other screwdriver as well. So once I get it lifted up, then I'm going to, yeah, I'm trying to do this so that you can see what's going on, but it's kind of a little tricky here. Yeah, so this can be done with a hobby knife, but it's a little more dangerous and risky for the puzzle. Oh, look at that. Okay, and that's it. Just popped right up. And usually, oh, and it fell on the floor. Usually they are much easier to take off subsequently because they're not stuck in there quite as much. And there you go, just a regular screw, so just a regular axis system. So this shouldn't be any problem at all. All right, I'm just gonna pause for a moment here, and I'm gonna go get that cap. And through the magic of video, I have a cap. All right, I'm just going to maybe just do a little, I want to make sure that it's effectual. Maybe a half turn. Okay, that really didn't do much. All right, I'll do another half turn. Okay, that seems like it might be better. I think the side ones now are there. Wow, that's really quite, makes me wonder if there's something else going on. I think it's just really tightly. Now these side ones are actually a little looser now. That one might not be. Okay, that one's quite tight. I'm gonna try loosening. Oops. Okay, I'm gonna try loosening this side one as well. Okay, my palette knife is falling apart here. Now, in case you're wondering, I gotta go get the other one, and then I'll answer my, in case you're wondering, I'll finish that thought. In case you're wondering, this technique does possibly scratch the edge. Might make some, I don't see any obvious scratch here, but it has the potential to scratch the edge of the cap. But you know what? That edge of the cap, you can't see it. So, all right, I'm just going to give this a little, it could be just that each face is just a little tighter than it needs to be. Yeah, look at that. That's a lot better. Now, on a puzzle like this with so many moving pieces, there is a very serious risk if you start loosening stuff, especially these little tiny pieces getting caught and kind of coming loose. So yeah, you got to be careful. Okay, that's actually really good. I'm happy with all of those except, okay, that one's a little tight, and that one's still a little tight, you know. Okay. Ah, look at that. Okay, these tools are, oh yeah. See, and the thing is that these do break in after a while, the faces, but you got to be able to turn them for them to break in. So even though this is a little bit catchy, it's at least it's turning, which it wasn't before. Yeah, look at that. Okay, now I'll see if this side one is good. Yeah, the side one now is quite good. This beige one, cream, whatever. Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm happy with those. So now let's check the other side. Okay, that's good. It's heavier, it's stiffer, but especially the top and the bottom, these ones, these will get a lot of use. So that's fine. Okay, that's good. Yeah, okay, that's much better. Jeez. Okay. Yeah, it's still quite heavy, but it's certainly acceptable. Okay, so that was an algorithm. That was okay, much easier than it's been. All right, and as far as putting them back, I guess you just kind of shove them back in there. Usually it doesn't. Usually it goes pretty well. Okay, I'm gonna watch that, and then I get to decide where the front is. The MF8 logo here. And let's just call it. Let's just call it right there. Yeah, there's no real rhyme or reason to it. Actually, on the other one, well, the color scheme isn't the same. Okay. You know what? That is so much better. All right, I'm glad I took the time to do that. And I guess this will be the bonus content, the actual bonus content, rather than the tragic blooper content. All right, well, that was it. Thanks for coming along with me and giving me moral support while I tried to adjust my my brand new puzzle. I'm very pleased with the way the adjustment went, and I hope that helped you if you were thinking about adjusting yours. And yeah, so that's the end of the bonus content. See ya.